Stapleton, and you're watching Grammy Pro. I met a guy who was a songwriter at EMI, and his name was Steve Leslie, through a mutual friend, and he just casually mentioned, hey, if you know anybody that writes songs, I'd love to help somebody out. He was back in Kentucky visiting some college friends, and my friend that he had run into was kind of to go, hey, you should call this guy. And I was living in Kentucky at the time, and so I did not know any better, and said, hey, I write songs. And he goes, cool, send me some stuff, and I did. And a couple weeks later, he called me up and said, hey, I kind of like these. Why don't you come down and write songs? And I did, back and forth for about 3 months, and then I moved to Nashville, and 4 days later I had a publishing deal. So that's kind of my story. That's not everybody's story, but that's how it happened for me. Luck. I got to have a job writing songs, which I thought was the greatest job in the world. Once I found out that was a job, I didn't know that it was a job until I had met Steve. And Steve actually introduced me to Liz O'Sullivan, who was at Seagull Music, and Frank Rogers and some of the other folks who were in that publishing company and just around town in general. And through that, we just struck up a relationship. Well, I've only been with Warner Chappell for a couple years now. I was with Seagull for a dozen years, 12 years. So it's a new thing, and I brought some catalog in over there, and sometimes it's good to be a shiny new toy someplace and see what else there is out there, and that's kind of where we got to. And I still love all those guys at Seagull, but it's been a new experience, and primarily at Warner Chappell, I've been doing this artist stuff, and so they've been real supportive. It's been a new role for me dealing with a publisher in that way. So, but Ben Vaughn and Alicia Pruitt and everybody at Warner Chappell has been amazing at helping me facilitate whatever it is I'm trying to do. Inspiration can come from anywhere. It's I can be having a conversation, or just playing guitar, or driving down the road, or anything really. There's not a specific thing that inspires, or there's not a magic formula or switch that I can flip that turns that on. You just have to find it where you can find it. Adele got that song off of I was in a band called the Steel Drivers. Adele found that song and listened to, her bus driver was listening to it. That's a story I've heard. I don't know her. We never have met or anything, but she heard it and recorded the song. Brad Paisley, of course, he was a part owner in Seagull Music for a number of years, and we know each other, but not really well, and so, but it's kind of the same thing. He heard a song he liked, and he'll record it. Now that's kind of been my. If there's a tactic, it's like I just write songs, and they'll, if they have homes, they'll find them. If they don't, they'll be a song I wrote that day, and that's just kind of. I don't really ever try to point things at people. I don't think that, for me, that never works out. George Strait was making a record, and Al Anderson walked in the room and said, hey, George is cutting, let's write a George Strait song, and we did, and it was a #1 for George Strait. But that's a very odd occurrence for me. Once again, I'm always just kind of writing songs, and I'll write whatever songs I'm in the mood to write, or whatever idea comes up that day, and however it needs to be written, and if they find their way into the world of commerce, great. If not, it was practice writing a song. We've got a lot of touring through the end of the year. We're winding down a little bit, but whatever comes up, we'll kind of evaluate. Oh, well, maybe we should do that, and that's kind of what we'll do. And we've been real fortunate. We try to make good choices, and just like you try to make good choices writing songs, and hopefully somewhere in the middle of all that, you wind up with a career of some kind. And so we'll keep on doing that. That's the plan for the rest of the year. Write as much as you can with people that are better than you at it, and learn from them. And if you can do that and really, take something away from every writing appointment, and try to learn how to do whatever it is that you do, not what somebody else does, that would be, I think that's the best way to approach things. It's a crazy cool lineup. I mean, who wouldn't want to be on this lineup? I mean, you got Wilco and Willie Nelson. I mean, it just spans so many things, and so many great artists on on these days. So it's a real treat to get to be a part of it.